It is January 5th. This is our after report from what happened at the coffee shop. So I'm going to talk about what happened, and then so basically, well, one of the theme ideas was to continue to, like, if I don't, the problem with not knowing anybody here is it's difficult to get away from home to deal with taking a break from what's going on. And I'm not going to talk about it, but just to say, like I told you, when the sun is active, like it is now, as it is in my books, people are fighting. There's aggression. There's crime. There's all. I was very emotional reading about these kids that raped some woman in school with an object, and that's exactly what I psychically predicted. And so it's happening at a faster rate. Whatever's happening to me and my abilities, and a lot of these really things accelerated for me after October 2023, with that eclipse and the total solar eclipse of April 2024, which I knew not to look at. The Native American tradition was to not look at it. You like the cell phone next to me, the big cell phone here? Where I can order the. See, so the cell phones are replacing men. The kiosks are replacing waitresses. The robots replacing waitresses. But the humans on the ground are thinking, wait a minute. When we're replaced, that's right. Yeah, it's not just a movie. We will be slaughtered. And when I was driving to the gym a few months ago, there was a sense of the earth opening up and eating. And now that I'm listening more of Sufi realities, it is pretty clear the hand of protection is being removed. And if the demons were to come with an 18-inch whatevers to a certain place to create a new race or something, this would be the first place. Portland, LA, LA people, wherever you have people that hate their own people and they love cell phones and technology more than people. And now, like, there was a point where if you said that, people were like, you're a jerk. I'm not like that. Now they're like, yep, I hate you. I like Satan. I love rape. It's just horrible. And I've never met a good man here. But unfortunately, I don't know of a good man friendship-wise on the internet. And on my last broadcast, I was berated. And he kept repeating, you can't handle criticism. You can't handle criticism. When it was discussing me trying to continue talking about what's going on. Why is he obsessed with talking about criticism? He himself couldn't even handle criticism. He himself had no content. So a lot of these inferior white men that are inferior, not superior, that are in denial of white supremacy and how they're behaving, they can't be helped. And they're actually toxic. Like maybe that's why I feel sick, actually, sometimes. I have really sick people on the channel. And the thing is, with more people subbing, there's no way of knowing how long they've been around. And if they don't tell me their background information, where they're at, there's no way of knowing what their bias is. So then if you're asking, are you white, this and that, to say that their lives matter, then he'll change the subject and go, I thought race doesn't matter. What he's doing is he's doing an argument on the fly to circumvent me asking why don't you say certain lives matter or Afghan lives matter? Nobody says that here. Now, how do you get kicked out of 3 places in a single day? Let's start my story. I went to the Mexican market over here, and I saw a Muslim woman, and I told her that, my last name is mentioned in the Quran. I'm not a Muslim, but I have that, my people made their book, basically. Maz bin Jabal is my ancestor. So I have that spiritual royal bloodline, which is why I'm tapped into what God is doing. And basically, because that Latino bad man at that market, he said, don't talk to that Muslim, like he controlled her. I just tried to give him the card, and he's like, leave. So I'm telling him at the market, man, why are you doing that? Why are you being this way? Richard, is that your name? Richard? And I'm looking down and I'm getting his name, and he's not being more, but then and then leave. Me having this, at least this lady's not screaming at me to the left. She's just focused on her phone. I'm on her beat trying to give her my card. I'm trying to give my card all types of people that I'm not trying to sleep with. But because of whatever happened to them here, boyfriends, poppies, there's a strong sense of distrust. And ultimately that cell phone, while it is a liberator to maybe get out of here, find a decent person, it's actually destroying people, along with the Coke, along with the water, along with the ice cubes. Everything together is one unit, although I'm super thirsty. I have major illnesses right now, mental and physical. The mental is caused by the solar. It's stress. It's PTSD. And so the solar flares, which my book is about your trauma from your past is going to be amplified when the sun is active. And one of the sources of arguments, without breaking privacy, frustrations of my friend, and I try to explain it to her, and she's not understanding, and she's not being slammed. You need to know this. I'm going to become animated and cry and yell when I read about certain news about people getting raped. And others that aren't on that mission, they're going to be like, bro, you cannot shout, you cannot this, that. No, we said no, bro. You are not permitted to raise your voice. You are gone. You will be, I can't do this, bro. And then I'm sitting here explaining, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. And then a lot of it, bit my tongue. I don't know why that happens. I'm really hurting, folks, because I have nowhere to go on the earth to be alone. I need to be alone. Do you know what I need? Silence. I need to be alone. And this is why my mom is going to stay, because she needs to be alone. She can't risk moving in with some dude that she doesn't know in the country. She might get beat up. She's difficult to live with. I care about my mom, and I don't want my mom to get beat up. And I offered to avenge my mom if she was abused by that guy in Queens. If something happened and he's still there and he's able-bodied, but he's probably too old, I'll knock on that door like John Travolta and get Shorty and get my coat back. You're like, what? It's a scene from Get Shorty. A-Man style. But the A-Man way of doing things, well, it's much more glamorous. And I really miss him. But understand that if I'm going to be this way, if I'm going to talk about these things, if I'm going to write crazy letters and also beg him to let me avenge him, the people that may have hurt him, tell me their names. He's reading that shit. Burn the paperwork now. Burn the paper. Oh my God, you're nuts. I'm solar flares. Nuts? Crazy? We'll see whether I'm crazy. It's like, instead of people going, wow, you're now becoming super, super, super athletic. And this is what it's coming down to. Folks, we need to talk. It seems like World War III is about to break up as I'm going to be homeless. Do you want to see homeless as World War III is in the streets? Because we need to talk. None of you are emailing me with offers to help, and I don't know what the deal is. Some people will pop up in the chat, and they'll be talking about non-related issues, but they won't actually be addressing the topic. 4 of you are here, but none are in the chat. None of you that I know of are in any position to help me, and none of you that I know of are anywhere even near me. And I will check now the emails to see if they're there. So you need to understand that. And when you come and go, there's no way of me knowing if I did something right or wrong. If you sub and unsub, there's no way of knowing if I did something right or wrong. When there's no communication from you to me on the positive attributes, right? And when you have a lot of people that are mentally ill, that are conspiracy commentators, curators, it's very difficult to actually get credit when you're dealing with people that are closet white supremacists that think that you're a bad person if you don't just people berate you. So a lot of these do nothing jackass white supremacists, YouTube commenters, sit in horrible, dirty environments. They don't fight white genocide. They beat up on brown content creators that have a different view than them, which is what we have today. None of you even showed up. None of you are even talking to me now. And so I'm not saying I'm suicidal, Blake, and I still am a little bent that you even misunderstood what I was saying. There's a difference between saying that the world is trying to get you to kill yourself and being suicidal. And some of you need an IQ. There's an education. There's a big, big difference between being actually suicidal and going, folks, you're killing me. You know what I mean? You know what I mean by that. And so I think that a lot of you lack basic empathy. When someone like me says, you're killing me, they don't even know what that means. It means like the stress of this world, the stress of this place is straight up murdering me. I need you to throw me a lifeline. In the past, you would do that. And now you're like, fuck no. And that makes me dependent on her. She said the whole time, you'll never help me. And the thing is, you're proving her right, which scares me because I don't want her to be right about the vaccine being safe. You know what I mean? And taking the next jab. You know what I mean by that? Do you though? But do you know what I mean by taking the next jab and that not being safe? She's all for it. You understand what I'm saying? So part of being here is being fixed. You know what I mean by that?